Welcome to the show Gold Squadron Gays. It's the podcast where two Star Wars loving gays talk about and review their favorite Star Wars content while also being gay as hell. I'm your host, Bradley Brower.
I'm your other host, Charles Rogers, and I think this show would vastly be improved by the presence of Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Seventh sister?
Seventh sister. Let's bring in the seventh sister. Come on.
What? Why
We've got Marak. We've got that random fucking bird beak inquisitor. Where's seventh sister? Cut Sarah Michelle Gellar a check. She's free now.
Let's get her in, and then also, I kind of want to see her and Rookcast kiss. Why not?
The seventh sister and Rookcast. Yeah, I see the vision.
I see the vision. Am I wrong?
Definitely.
Her sister was a witch, bro. You're telling me that I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong. No, we're starting off this Maul coverage with really just the appropriate takes.
These are the questions that people are asking when watching this show.
All right, AO3. I'm almost certain it doesn't exist. In fact, I'm going to check
Probably
right now.
Not. Because
Absolutely no one is writing.
Was Rook introduced in Clone Wars Season 7? She wasn't anywhere before
No,
that, right?
she was introduced in Son of Dathomir. She was introduced in the comic adaptation of the unproduced episodes.
I'm just trying to get my timelines right, because obviously Seventh Sister is more so in the Rebels era, which is the end of the Empire era. So even though this show takes place in the Empire era, it's the beginning of it, technically, or towards the beginning. So, don't know. Not that I'm sure everything exists on AO3, but I'm just saying,
I'm trying to find out now if anyone has written Rookcast Seventh Sister fic, and no, they haven't. So AO3, Get on that.
AO3,
get on that.
You know what to do.
The show is not going to give me the evil lesbian team up, so I need you now to give me the evil lesbian team up.
Correct.
Anyway. What are we talking about today? Besides the fact that I think the evil women should kiss on the mouth.
Today we're talking about Maul Shadow Lord Season 1, Chapter 1, The Dark Revenge. In the criminal underworld of Janix, Maul enacts a plan to consolidate his power. Charles, what's one thing you liked about the episode and one thing you did not?
Jesus fucking Christ. Did you see this thing with your eyeballs?
Yeah, I don't have
Did you
spoiler
look at
alert,
it?
I don't have a thing I didn't like about this episode.
Did you look at it with your eyeballs? Holy shit. Holy God.
This first episode alone,
did
this itself, I was like, holy shit.
Did it look anything like this in the trailer you watched?
Nothing like this. I swear they have enhanced the animation so much. I don't think that, I'm trying to remember now, maybe it's just because it was, months and months and months before. It was essentially a year before, right? That's when it aired, or the trailer aired for us at Celebration?
No, it was about a year. Well, for you,
for me, it's been almost a year since I've seen the trailer. So that literally it has advanced so much. That's why I said I wasn't sure what people were talking about when you were like, oh yeah, it's this new animation style and the Clone Wars and blah blah blah. I was like, I didn't really see that as much. I thought it was good, but I didn't see that well. No, dude. This final product, whatever this is that they're sending us.
Jesus Christ. I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. But now that I have it, more 7 seasons in a movie, please, of whatever is going on here. No, my thing that I liked is I woke up at 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning.
Yes.
Partially because I have to get on EST, so I'm already working on that. So I'm already working on going to bed really early and waking up really early in order to not have to do jet lag. But partially because I know you motherfuckers will spoil it for me if I'm not on the ball with watching it. So I woke up at 6 o'clock in the goddamn morning. It was still dark out. So go out in the main room, I get my coffee, and I'm watching the show. I have my coffee, I have my fruit and nut bar, and I thought I was going to choke. I genuinely thought at some point I was going to forget to chew, because I'm just sitting there staring at the screen in the dark living room like, what the fuck am I watching? What the fuck? So my thing that I liked is it's fucking gorgeous. Jesus Christ, I have multiple notes. I just had to stop taking animation notes. I get to the first scene and I went, I cannot. It was the moment the fucking burners on the cop car start filtering out, and it's the paint fucking filter or paint fucking effects on that. And I went, I can't. I
No,
fucking can't.
I mean this is just a blanket thing. Like the animation is good. We loved it. Like we don't have to ever talk about. I mean, other than just to say it was good. Like I don't have to go into full detail anymore because like
I'll
it's
point
so
out
good.
I'll point out some moments in the first scene, and then
Yeah,
I'm gonna point out specific moments that I think in future episodes that are particularly noteworthy. But just know animation good is gonna be the
animation
banner
good.
that hangs over this whole fucking thing.
Hmm.
Because what the fly, I need to see this on the big screen.
No,
If
somebody.
there's a screening of this show
Oh, in
at,
theaters.
in Celebration or in theaters or somewhere, I will commit mall like acts of violence to be in that room.
I was literally gonna say, is there a way? Because next week you're gonna be in town. Is there a way for us to rent out a theater and watch episode 3 and 4 like
Uh, we
in a
could
theater?
we could break back into our alma mater.
Oh, that's right.
We could break
Be
into the
like, can we
building.
borrow this?
We could
No, but I
break
just
into the
thought that was
building, break into the
so
computer, and
like
put
I
it
was
up
like, I
on
need a
the.
projector and I need to watch this on a theater. Like
No, I was like, I need to find the biggest TV I possibly can
it was so good.
and look at this. Jesus Lord. I have two things I dislike. One of them I'll mention up top. The other one's a very specific note. There's the distortion effect that they put on Spybot's voice
Hmm.
meant only about half of what he says comes through to me without the subtitles on. He's much funnier with the subtitles on. Turn the
Okay.
subtitles on and watch it again,
Okay.
where you can actually
I thought I
understand
could
what
hear him pretty
Spybot.
well. I
You
just,
can get him well enough, but
yeah.
some of the boomdia that he
Mm.
does at one point when he's dropping off, I missed entirely
Okay, I
because it
need to
just
rewatch
sounds
it with
like weird
subtitles. I'll do
noises.
that for episode 2.
Rewatch,
I'll watch it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll rewatch it again with the subtitles on, if
Hmm.
only so you can see what Spybot's actually saying.
Okay.
He's funny, but that was the one little tiny fucking nitpick that I could find in the
Right.
episode,
Turn
other
down
than
his distortion a little bit. Yeah.
one specific moment where I will point out an otherwise extremely tight script makes no sense.
Okay.
What about you, Bradley? One thing you liked, and what? Just give me the one thing you liked.
Yeah, because I genuinely couldn't think of anything I didn't like. Or at least maybe it'll come to me later, like while we're watching the episode, but I could not think of something. And the one thing that I liked, it's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in animation is the smoke or any kind of smoke in this episode that I saw. When I saw the brushstrokes in the smoke, especially in the opening scene when Maul is coming down the lift and then the ship is smoking. That's where you see it the most in the episode. However, you see it throughout the rest of the episode anytime there's any kind of smoke or distortion of any kind. That is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't even understand. I don't even know how they did it other than to say they put a filter on top of the whole entire thing to make it look like brushstrokes are happening while it's happening. Like, it was so
Some of
cool.
it, I think some of it is actual matte paintings. I think there's points where they have actual physical ships. We're recording this the day it came out, so a lot of the trivia is still kind of coming out, and people
Yeah.
are noticing things and finding things in interviews. And I don't know exactly how they did it, but it's not like a filter. Like it's
No, 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 I know.
the
But
smoke. The smoke. Do you know how hard, audience, smoke is to animate? It's real
alone by
fucking hard. It's
itself.
real hard to do. And they're out here. I just deleted a note because I had a whole note about the smoke from the crime scene and
Yeah.
how good it is.
It just blew my mind. It is so cool. This is okay. You know what this is? This is what Rebels thought they were doing the first time when they were doing the animation style for Rebels when it was the Matt Corey kind of painting inspired like
Well,
animation.
Rebels was genuinely impressive for 2015.
I'm
I'll
saying
say
though,
that.
like this is in their brain. This is what they
This is what
thought
they would
how
have
good
wanted
it
it to
was.
look
Yeah,
like. Yeah.
exactly. I think just the execution here because of how far we have come in technology, like in the short amount of time since Rebels has come out. This is what they meant to do when they meant like brushstrokes, textures, and things like that. And you're right, there is matte paintings. There has to be because there is definitely a scene where they are showing a building. I think it's this pink building. I can't remember what exact scene it was, but it's like a zoomed out shot of this pink bill or the lights are pink. And that was definitely a painting. Like everything else is moving around the painting, but I was like, that's a background painting
Yep.
shot for sure. So
Yep.
anyway, super impressive. I really
There's
liked that, but yeah.
the charting just of like how because Lucasfilm's always been like their animation has always pushed the boundaries. And we look
Hmm.
back on stuff now and we go, this looks terrible. But at the time, it was a
Hmm.
genuinely impressive feat. So, like, even the early Clone Wars stuff was really impressive early 3D animation. And, like, looking at the way it's gone through, that to Rebels to Resistance, which we've now watched a little bit of. So we have that in the context of this to the Bad Batch or to Clone Wars season 7 and then the Bad Batch and now this. It's like, gee, wow.
I want to say, so somebody commented on one of our YouTube videos for our Maul episode 0, and they were listing all the different things they like, what they were agreeing about our video because everybody agrees with this, obviously.
Of course, everybody agrees
Um,
with me. I'm perfect and have never said anything wrong in my life. Ignore the
exactly.
section where I constantly have to correct myself because I'm wrong.
But they literally said, I would watch all the movies over again if they redid them in this animation style. And I was like, because what did I say in that episode? I said, I wish they would just redo the movies as
You
animation.
said,
Now that I've seen it in action like this, I genuinely believe that if they were to remake the movies, like this is how I would never want to see them remake the movies in live action because I don't believe in that for Star
do you
Wars.
ever
But
see
in this style, I would do it.
oh, what was it? Galaxy of Adventure or what were those
Yeah.
shorts where
No,
they
those
just
are
did scenes from the movies?
right.
Do
Those are
that.
cute,
Do
but they're
that.
like 5 seconds. Like I don't want 5 seconds. I want full on
Okay.
okay, it can still be a shortened version. It can still be a televised version of the movie, or maybe it's expanded version of the movies. Maybe it's like the same thing, but like just like a little bit more. You know what I
Adapt the
mean?
movies into a TV show now,
Yeah, but
add other
animated.
stuff in. See, that I could kind of see because I'm always hesitant to be like, I don't think we should remake the stuff, but like,
Yeah, it's an
if we're
enhancement. It's a
readapting
different
it
thing.
into
It's
a different
adapted.
thing, we should probably
Let's
talk about the
yeah, let's
show.
talk about an actual show. Section 1. A group led by Rook Cast infiltrates a bank transport hangar, overwhelming its defenses before authorities are alerted. They disable pursuing airspeeders and escape with the stolen transport, and the TDF converge on an unidentified ship in the area and confront the robbers. But the situation escalates when Maul appears.
My literal first note is quote, sick new city. It's so Gotham with the music, end quote. They have such Batman the Animated Series music over these shots of the city. Hold on, because on the trivia guide that dropped literally right before we started recording this episode, it is noted. This is from the Shadow Lord trivia on StarWars.com. Quote: the city on Genex is inspired in part by Batman's Gotham, a sprawling metropolis with a dark underbelly. Quote, what's under the crater? What's at the edge of the crater? What's beyond the crater? End quote, Micknovitz asks. Quote, despite the metropolis Gotham Noir DNA in it, there's also this weird kind of subtle threat of the frontier beyond what is on the outside of this city. End full quote.
No, for sure. It was giving Gotham because like Coruscant is supposed to be like shiny and like pretty sometimes. Like yes, at night it can be a little Gothamy on the lower levels. However, this whole city is lower levels like visually. Like I feel like this is always Gotham. Like it's never not
If
Gotham.
you
Like
showed me a screenshot of Janix and told
yeah.
me it was from Batman Beyond, I would
Yes, that's
believe you.
exactly what it is. It's Batman Beyond. It's like the
Batman
futuristic
Beyond.
Gotham. Like, oh,
Hmm.
so great. It's such a cool visual. I like just the prettiness of it's also like Gotham Tokyo, if you will. Like it's very like
Yeah,
super neon-y
we've
and
both
like
been to Tokyo now, so you can
yeah,
see the influence, the Japanese influence on the Star Wars aesthetic
for
remains
sure.
because you can kind of see it with how neon everything is and how bright and how huge everything is. If you've ever been to Tokyo, genuinely there is no city in the United States that I have been to that even comes close to Tokyo in
Mm,
terms of just how much there is
right.
of it. And I live in Los Angeles. Spybot is amazing.
New
Uh,
favorite character.
immediately, my second favorite character, my actual favorite character from these two episodes will be introduced later, but I love all the new
Okay.
characters. Do you have who's voicing Spybot?
I do. I have so David W. Collins is the voice of Spybot. He is a sound designer and supervising sound editor for this show, as well as literally a multitude of shows. I only wrote three of them because it was just the three that I just happened to see at the time. All the Tales series, Skeleton Crew, and Bad Batch. So, and he just does random voices in them sometimes. We've probably talked about him before. I just,
Oh, we've absolutely talked about him
yeah,
before, but hey, people might be joining us for Maul. I know we've
that's
got
true.
enough of a back catalog now that people sometimes jump to their preferred show and listen to our coverage of that. So, David
Hmm.
W. Collins, very big name in the Lucasfilm space. You might particularly know him. He's just done a bunch of alien voices. He's done a bunch of droid voices. Pretty sure he's the voice of Proxy in The Force Unleashed. He is indeed the voice of Proxy in Star Wars The Force Unleashed. So one of the things about that game I did not absolutely fucking hate, he is one of those things. But he's all over the fucking place. You know this guy, you love this guy. Trust me, if you've watched a Star Wars or played a Star Wars, you know this guy.
I
Amazing new droid.
He no, he is genuinely amazing. I love the design of him that he's like so I know that we brought up the Seventh Sister in or just the beginning just for fun, but he's like the big version of like those little baby droids that she has like all the time that she does have do her bidding all the
Yeah,
time.
her
Like
little
he's
her little spy droids.
her little spy droids, like he's like a big boy version. Like he's like he genuinely is scary. And he's also like has a lot of personality in that he is genuinely like okay, I hate to mention this franchise slash this thing, but the Michael Bay Transformers movies. There is a character in one of the movies, I don't remember which one it is. I want to say it's the second one, like the second
God.
movie where there's the little evil robot that is like
That's the one movie, Transformers movie I've actually seen, so I know
okay.
what character you're talking
I
about.
don't know his name. Transformers people will be like screaming at the microphone if there is any.
That is, I've seen one. It was the second one. I saw it when I was like a teenager, and I remember how bad it was to this day.
Anyway, I think he turns into a cell phone at one point, like a flip phone, because that's how old these movies are. Anyway, that's what he reminded me of because he had that like same kind of like evilly little voice and he just like kind of had that like just he's just an evil fucking robot for no reason other than he's evil. Like it's so funny and I love that actually. God, he is so funny. And it's also kind of like he's wearing like a samurai hat or whatever. Like it's weird. Like
Yeah, it
his
looks like he's
head
got a little hat on.
yeah, he looks like he's wearing like a hat, which is so funny too. And it looks like his eyebrow like covers his one eye, and it makes him look like really evil because he's like constantly scowling or whatever. But the design is 10 out of 10, I just have to say. So thank God they did this character for no reason. And I hope he just continue. I hope he's not just like a like he only shows up randomly. Like I hope he's just like a continuous part of the little group, like
He's
Maul's
all
little
over the
group.
first two episodes.
I know. I'm hoping he continues because I just hope they don't forget about him. You know how sometimes shows do this where
Sometimes
they
they'll
like
forget about
they'll
them.
forget about a
I
character.
don't think they're going to forget about this guy.
Okay, if they okay, I'm making us I'm putting everybody on notice now. We have to figure out where Spybot is in every episode because if he doesn't show up in episode 3, I'm gonna have a fit. Okay.
You're going to
So
forget about this the second the Inquisitors show up. I just want you to know you're going to
this is true.
immediately forget about this second
100%
the
I will
second
forget.
the Inquisitoria shows up. You're just going to stop caring.
I probably
I
will.
know how you operate. We've been making the show for 5 years.
Speaking of returning voices, I didn't want to like gloss over them because I still think they're important, but I do think we should just mention them quickly without going into super
We are
detail.
not going to do their entire resume, particularly
No,
since most of the returning voices have been in fucking everything
correct.
ever, particularly with Star Wars. It's a lot of people have returned to be in this one.
Yes,
We won't
we're gonna
even
try to
mention
focus on the new
we
people,
won't
but I
even
do want to mention
mention
them.
D. Bradley Baker
No,
or Ben Diskin or Steve Blum, all of whom are in this episode. Or
I
at
didn't
least
even write
in the
them down.
first two episodes. Jonathan Lapau is also here. Helen Sadler is here. She's the bank supervisor droid. It's like, no, they called in all their usual people.
Yeah.
Speaking of their usual people, Bradley, who is the voice of Rook Cast?
Rookcast is voiced by Vanessa Marshall. Everybody knows she's the voice of one Harrison Dula, but she is reprising her previous Clone Wars character of Rookcast as well.
Yes. I
Um,
love the brightness of the flashes when they're doing the gunfight. It's just it's insane visually to look at.
so when I saw Maul's ship for the first time, I was like, damn, he still got this fucking ship? Like how long has he been holding on to this thing?
It's like a squatter like version of it. It's not the big long gauntlet ship.
Right.
I think it's a slightly like it looks like the wings are smaller. I'm not a ship's nerd, so I couldn't tell you.
Is this actually, now that I think about it, it's a Mandalorian ship, right? Because it looks just like Bo-Katan's. It's the same style one, right?
Yeah, no, it's a Mandalorian ship,
Yeah, yeah. I just can't
but
remember. I haven't
it's
watched
not
Clone Wars season
shit
seven,
ta.
and yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't remember what he ends up. But you know what I mean, like where he ends up. Because I think obviously in Phantom Menace he doesn't have this ship, obviously. So like he has like some random ship in that movie, but I can't remember.
I
This
mean,
is
he has a
why,
scimitar in that movie, but I don't know what happens to the scimitar after he dies.
yeah,
Scimitar, however
someone
it's pronounced.
stole it or something. I don't know. Or it's oh no, it's on. He parked it on Naboo somewhere.
Look, I'm not a ship's nerd. It's some sort of Mandalorian ship. It's their same design that they always are.
Anyway, I recognized the shape of the ship. Um, anyway,
I just added a little note here. I'm going to bring it up now. I figured
okay.
now is a good enough time to bring it up. So there was a Legends novel that was published to tie into the Phantom Menace. It was one of the first ones that was published to tie in to that movie called Maul Shadowhunter. And I just want to drop a recommendation that if you like a story about Darth Maul that also involves the Jedi and also involves the seedy underbelly of a planet and also involves chases and crime politics, you can get the unabridged audiobook version of that, narrated by Sam Witwer, who will do his Maul voice in your ears. If you've read Maul Shadowhunter, you're going to notice all the parallels between it and this show. It's not
Nice.
one to one, but they're definitely coming from the same place. Highly recommend.
Meanwhile, on the streets of Janix, Jedi fugitives Iko Diodaki and Devon Izara observe the nearby police activity, but Master Daki chooses to ignore it. Devon, noticing her master's hunger, secretly steals fruit from a vendor. However, she is caught when she bumps into a police droid. Her master urges her to cooperate to avoid making a scene.
I will note that nowhere is either of their names mentioned in this episode
I I know that, so I literally had
at
to
all.
pull that from just the fucking Wikipedia because not
E-
that we didn't already know their names, but
Eco Dio I have,
uh-huh.
but my notes only refer to Devon as the Padawan or the kid
Oh,
because it's never referenced
you
in
know
the
what? You're
episode
absolutely
by
right. We
name.
should call them based on
But
what
it's
is
just
given.
the Jedi and the kid.
The Jedi and the kid.
The Jedi and the kid we've got to
Because we don't
work
even
with
know
at least.
technically if it's a Padawan. We just know that they're
We
Force users,
Yeah,
right?
we won't even. Well, no,
Well,
we
actually, we
don't
don't even know
even.
that.
Within the context of the show, we don't find out that Iko Dio is a Jedi until episode 2.
You're right. So
So, like, the
technically,
marketing told us that, but if you're just watching the
right,
show and
just
you
as
didn't follow
is.
any of that,
Mm-hmm.
there's a good chance you may not pick up on the fact that these are Jedi.
Random hermit and random child observe nearby police activity.
Yes.
I mean, literally though, that's so funny. I never even thought of that. But you're right. They never say their names. And because literally when she's getting booked later on, she doesn't give her name because she doesn't want to give her information. So we
Yep.
literally never get her name. That's so crazy. Okay, anyway, would you like to know who's voicing our two
I
new
would
characters?
love to hear who's voicing this. Yes.
Okay.
Go on.
All right. Well, starting with Master Iko Diodaki. He is being voiced by Dennis Haysbert. Dennis is best known for being the president on the first 5 seasons of the series 24. He also plays God in the series Lucifer. He's been in a few other DC projects like Static Shock and the Justice League TV series. He has what we will call a technical Disney trifecta. Not a true one, and I'll tell you why. So he did a voice in the Disney movie Wreck-It Ralph, so that's his Disney thing. And then in 1980, this is why it's not a true, he appeared in one episode of the Incredible Hulk series.
Okay.
So it's a
So we're giving it
technicality
to him on a
Marvel thing.
technicality, but we don't often have to bring the old Marvel stuff into this.
Right. Usually it's like, oh, they did a more recent thing, but he hasn't done a recent Marvel thing or anything since the Disney acquisition, at least. So,
There's another interesting credit that he has.
oh, what's that?
In 1995,
Okay.
he was in a movie called Heat. Heat is cited as being an inspiration for this show.
Really? I did not know that.
And he was in Heat starring Among other people, Natalie Portman.
Love that. I want someone to create a 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon of like all the Star Wars people that exist in just anything. If they've been in a Star Wars, I just want to see the tree of everybody connected. It's
The
probably
tree of
gigantic.
if they've
Just
somebody with
somebody
way
been
more time than
associated
me.
and how they're associated, just something interesting like that. I'm sure that would be take way too long. But anyway, moving on to Devon Izara is being played by Gideon Adlon. She has appeared in the films Blockers and The Craft Legacy. She has done a number of DC projects, most recently as Batgirl in the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earth movies. She did a episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. She does have an animated Disney trifecta. Well, not a full animated trifecta, but so her Disney thing is she appeared in an episode of Girl Meets World. And then she has a voice on one episode of Marvel's Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So that's like her kind of trifecta there. And then this is not her first Star Wars. Maybe we mentioned this in episode 0, but she previously did a voice on Young Jedi Adventures where she played a young Marilyn girl. So I don't know if I mentioned that in episode 0, but that was her previous Star Wars thing. So
Nice. And she's about to appear in Euphoria, apparently.
oh,
It's a bit of a
I didn't know that.
weird jump, but okay. I haven't watched that show and have no plans to.
Yeah, I don't either. And I've only seen the first 3 seasons. I won't continue. So these characters, so other than, yeah, I don't really have much more to say. I think you pretty much knocked on the head, really, which is just that they just assume we know they're Jedi. We don't actually aren't supposed to know that. That's
We
so
are
weird
not
to think
supposed
about.
to know this information. Well, also, like, it does provide context if you are actually watching the episode because Echo Dio is a fucking idiot.
Oh, I did not like him.
He
I
is
will
an
say that.
absolute dumbass in this scene. He is the stupidest fucking man I have ever seen in this show. And that's saying a lot because there's some very stupid people in this show. He is by far the stupidest because he's fucking sanctimonious. He's annoying. He just starts lecturing Devin. She's just like, dude, you gotta eat. And like, I get, like, he doesn't want to steal or whatever. But then he tries to turn it into a, well, there's going to be the kindness of strangers is,
Which,
and then
by the way, the
immediately
stranger that he asked told him to fuck off the second
told him
he
to
said
fuck
something.
off in
Literally said
Huttese.
chuta. Like,
Yeah, go fuck yourself. So there's your kindness of strangers.
right. And
Like
mind you,
it, it,
she was like, okay, she was like, I'm gonna steal this fruit. Like, fuck you. I'm gonna go steal this fruit. And if you look at the fruit basket or the thing that she's stealing the fruit out of, she only takes the tiny, unripe little ones. She doesn't take the giant versions of the fruit that are ripe and full that actually probably cost money.
no, and like the whole interesting thing about it too is that it shows what Maul is going to talk about in episode 2. It shows that in the real world where they now live, the Jedi way of thinking is outdated.
Right.
And while Echo Dio might have the moral high ground here,
Mhm.
stealing is wrong, especially from small businesses who are already struggling to make ends meet. That type of clinging to black and white absolute morality is going to prove to be a detriment. And then this fucking moron sees Devin getting arrested by the cop droid who suck. These droids are terrible. These droids are awful. They are the worst. And she's getting dragged off, and he's just like, oh, I'm sure they'll be reasonable. In what fucking universe?
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, yeah, this was my only plot point that I was kind of like, huh? Because he was like, oh, just comply and, they'll release you anyway, like no big deal. Like, not to like fast forward too much, but like when Lawson sees her getting arrested or whatever, he's like, oh, she's just a kid. Like, why is she even fucking here? Like, you'll just get rid of her. Like, he was gonna let her probably go if she had
Jedi
said something. Yeah.
Jedi mentality. So either this is
Yeah.
some sort of lesson for her,
Right.
or he really does believe that like they'll be reasonable. Like
Right.
he's painfully naive, or he's depicted as being painfully naive in these early episodes.
Yeah.
I may eat my words at a later time,
I was gonna say, yeah,
but right now
don't judge
he
too
is
early.
painfully stupid.
Everything's always a test, though. So
Yeah, everything's always a test with these
it's always
fucking
a test
Jedi.
with
It's
the
like,
Jedi.
he can't move on. He
Yeah.
can't accept the reality of the world as it currently exists. And in some ways, he is a foil for Maul in that.
Mm.
He cannot accept the reality of the world that he now lives in. Anyway, the only other note I have for this scene is that if you watch the faces, the facial animation has gotten so good, you can visibly see the micro expression. as they flash across faces. Like you can watch Devin go through the journey, like this whole journey with just her face in this scene. It's incredible.
I also don't like how I immediately already can see like how she's going to change as a character. Like, because she already doesn't buy the bullshit. Like, she's already like, what the fuck are we struggling for? Like, why are we doing this? Like, she's already pissed off. And we all know that anger is the first step. So I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
there it is. There it is.
Well,
Like,
no, fear is the
oh,
first
I'm
step.
sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. So she's not scared. So she's already, well, I think scared would have been Order 66. And then that would
Well,
have
we
been the
don't
fear.
know, and this is critical.
Yeah.
We only know that she was old enough to have possessed certain pieces of information that we'll get to when we get to the end of the episode. So this is clearly not that long after Order 66.
Mm.
So we're not getting close to the Imperial period. This is probably very shortly after the Bad Batch. I think we had a debate about this in our episode 0
I think we're going to need
as
more
to when exactly. We
information.
need more
Yeah.
information, but this is very early in the reign of the Empire. Maul is talking about it like it's a recent thing,
Hmm.
but we also don't know the backstory here. We don't know if these two actually even went through Order 66. We don't know yet. More information will shortly follow.
Section 3. At the scene of the crime, Captain Brander Lawson begins to investigate the bank heist and suspects it wasn't a typical crime syndicate job due to its sophistication, lack of stolen credits, and the disappearance of the supervisor droid. He concludes the robbery could spark conflict between crime lords. Meanwhile, Grand Crime Lord Nico Demus reacts angrily and plans a meeting with rival Ludi Vario, unaware that Maul is secretly monitoring
Captain Brander Lawson,
them.
who I met
That's
in the
right.
first issue of Shadow of Maul. I really want to fuck this man. He's so hot.
Um,
So hot.
I have more to comment in
So
episode
attractive.
2,
He's
but
he's so fine.
I
Like
have more to comment later on. But
this is
I cannot disagree with you.
this is where the gay comes in because look, he's fictional. He's not a
No,
real cop.
no,
Like
he is in my
he's
heart.
he's a fictional he's a fictional tropey cop.
Yeah,
But man, I really want to fuck this guy.
I can't.
The minute I saw him in action with his sexy voice and his sexy face and the way he moves and the way he carries himself with confidence, but then you get to know him and he's this pathetic rat man who also is a foil to Darth Maul. Because if there's one thing I love, it's a man who looks like he has his shit together, but actually is pathetically barely clinging to sanity. This is like catnip to me.
Got it.
Like even the mustache, I normally mustaches are normally a turnoff for me. I can't do
Mm.
it, but this one I was like, it's the fucking Vincent Price of it all. Like he's so sexy. Who's voicing this
I
extremely
was gonna say,
fuckable
would you
man?
like to know who's voicing?
Who's
Um,
voicing this extremely fuckable man?
Brander Lawson is being voiced by Wagner Moura. He is a Brazilian actor, and after being established in Brazil, he started to expand into the American film industry and TV industry in 2013 with the science fiction film Elysium. In 2015, he received international attention and critical acclaim for his portrayal of drug trafficker Pablo Escobar in the Netflix crime series Narcos, which he does with Star Wars alum Pedro Pascal. And he also appeared in Narcos Mexico with Diego Luna. He did do voice work before. He's done a voice in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Most recently, he made history as the first Brazilian to win a Golden Globe for Best Actor for the film The Secret Agent.
If you have seen a meme online of a sad looking man with a mustache sitting on a like bench, just kind of like a swing, like a white and yellow swing, that's this guy. That's from Narcos.
Gotcha.
The very sexy cop also has a very funny droid. Who is voicing the very funny droid? And then we'll get into the very funny droid's name.
Okay. Two Boots is being voiced by Richard I. Oyadi, is how it is phonetically spelled on Wikipedia. He is a British actor. He appeared in films such as Paddington 2 and The Watch, and he's done voice work in The Bad Guys, Pixar's Soul, and Krapopolis. This is not his first Star Wars. He was the voice of the droid Q90 in The Mandalorian.
All the way back in our Mandalorian season 1 coverage when
So
we
we
had not
talked about
figured
him
out
a
how to do
long
this
time ago.
show yet. We talked about him.
That's right.
Uh, I do not have confirmation about this, but again, everybody's buzzing around trying to find the trivia. And a gentleman who goes by the screen name of James in the Divas Discord
Oh, okay.
pointed out that the name Two Boot may be a reference to the film Dances with Wolves, in which the protagonist befriends a wolf with a distinctive white-footed pattern that they name Two Socks.
Mm,
So Two Socks, Two Boots. I have no confirmation about
okay.
this, but when I was reminded of the existence of Dances with Wolves, I was immediately like, I need to propose this as a theory. So I'm giving the credit to
Okay.
James because they were the one that came up with it. But I did want to point that out. It may come out later that it's a reference to something else, but at time of recording, that's what I think. It's probably a reference to another wolf. It's a wolf. It's a reference to a wolf because Dave Filoni, who was barely involved in the
Of
show,
course.
loves wolves.
Mind you, okay, I concede that that is probably exactly the true reference. I'm gonna raise you. He's also the only police droid to be wearing two boots. All the other
Yeah,
police
so we
droids
think
do not
that's the
have.
reference because he is named distinctively for a foot pattern or
Yes,
for a foot thing.
yes,
And the wolf in the movie is so named because two of his feet are
right.
white.
But my question is, why does two boots have two boots? Why is he wearing boots and all the other security droids just have their normal feet? Because I watched the second time I watched this episode, I made sure the security droids don't all have boots, and none of them have boots. He's the
Presumably,
only
this will
one.
be answered in a future issue of Shadow of Maul.
I was hoping so. I was hoping that your comic book was going to answer that question because it's a
It did
precursor
not.
for Lawson and Two Boots. And so I'm like, maybe issue two. I'm get it, Two Boots,
Maybe.
issue two, hopefully.
I'm going to read the rest of it, so we'll see. Blah, blah, blah. We investigate the crime scene. Cut to Nico Demus.
Yes,
I don't know if you have his voice actor, given
I do.
he
I had to
got,
look it up.
well, who is voicing
This
Nico
is the
Demus,
first
and then I'll
first
talk about his name.
okay, it's a little sneak behind the curtain. So normally I let Wikipedia do all the voice actor research for me, right? Because they usually put it on there and they put everything on there. Guess what the one person they didn't fucking put on there was, and I don't blame them because the episode literally came out today. And it was probably 3 a.m. in the morning when they uploaded this. So I did have to watch the fucking episode, wait till the credits, and pause it on the credits so I could see his name.
Did you
Um,
forget the existence of IMDb?
Yeah, well, I wasn't gonna go searching on there and make sure that it was on there or whatever. So I wanted to make sure I got it right from the source.
Okay.
Nico Demus is being voiced by John Carroll Lynch. He is best known for the TV series Fargo. He's appeared multiple times in American Horror Story, but mostly as Twisty the Clown. That's what most people know him as. He was also in 3 episodes of Veep, which is one of the funniest shows ever.
Please
And
watch Veep. If you need a little levity in today's political climate,
exactly.
please watch Veep. It's so fucking funny.
He's also appeared in films such as The Founder, Jackie, and most recently, She Rides Shotgun.
So Nico Demus's name is again unconfirmed, probably a reference to the biblical figure of Nicodemus. I don't know what the connection is,
Okay.
but that it flagged my grew up in the Baptist church
Mm.
brain.
You had a religious experience
And I
flag
had
going off. Yeah.
so Nicodemus is venerated as a saint in certain
Mm.
sects of Christianity, is most notable for being a Pharisee, so a religious leader who comes over to have a conversation with Jesus at night. That's his most famous thing. I'm not sure what the connection is here, but it sounds like it might be a play on this guy's name.
Okay. Yeah, I don't
It's
know what
also,
because he doesn't have like a story or anything, so he's just kind of like around.
yeah, no, he's just kind of a random
So,
guy who's there. There's a couple of other people who also share the name, but I'm not sure what the connection would be to any of those.
okay.
it's interesting. The only other thing I wanted to point out in this scene before we get into the next one,
Hmm.
because I know we're just barreling along on the time here, is once again the fucking animation. The Trandoshan skin is so slimy and disgusting. It's impressively slimy.
Okay.
That I don't know why I noted that, but I noted
Out
that.
of all the things in that scene, you were
All
just
the
like,
things that I
look at his
felt
skin.
needed a note, that was
Gotcha.
one of them.
Section 4. At their base, Rook engages in a discussion with Maul, sharing updates on the mission. He expresses his search for an apprentice and elaborates on his broader plan to destabilize crime syndicates who wronged him and incite Demas into action. When Rook proposes assassination, Maul declines, opting instead to activate the captured protocol droid and compel it to deliver a message. Meanwhile, at the police office, Devon is detained and processed by Lawson, who shows leniency but warns her she could be jailed for refusing to identify herself. Two Boots interrupts to show Lawson footage of Maul, and they learn the ISB is tracking him. Lawson chooses to keep the information quiet to avoid Imperial involvement.
In this scene, this is the first time we are hearing Maul speak. So, Bradley, who's playing Darth Maul?
Darth Maul is being played by Sam Witwer. We know him. 2008 to present, he has done a million Star Wars voices. I didn't want to list all of his Star Wars voices, but I did want to list a random Star Wars thing that he did one time as Darth Maul instead, because I thought it'd be more fun. Because, as you know, he's done a million voices and we'll never be able to cover all of them because actually we don't even know all of the voices he's ever done because he usually just does random ass voice work in Star Wars animation and in general.
Yeah, he's
So
just here.
he's
He is
just
one of
always here.
like Dave Filoni's favorite little guys.
Exactly.
So he just always turns up in everything. Like there was that story that thought he was in Skeleton Crew, and that was never confirmed. By the way, that did not happen. We don't know that he voiced that guy. Could not get a primary source on that. But like he just the reason that took off was because he just is in everything.
Right. Well,
He's just in everything. It's believable.
would you like a random thing he did one time that was really funny? And then I don't even know if you'll
Sure.
remember this. Okay. So back in 2012, The Phantom Menace came back to theaters as like a 3D experience back when 3D movies were like a big thing. I don't know
Oh
if you
yeah, I
remember this.
fucking remember that. I remember when they did all of this for Star Wars. This was
Well,
prior to the buyout.
right. So this was clearly a like a branding like deal thing that they did for this. So this was a commercial, a Pepsi commercial for Brisk Tea that he did back then to celebrate the 3D experience. It was Darth Maul versus Yoda in a Brisk Tea commercial where he drank the Brisk Tea and then he got his mojo back or whatever fighting. Anyway, Yoda crushes him with a soda machine and it's the dumbest commercial ever, but
Wow.
it's him doing the voice and it's really interesting. And it's I had to watch it on YouTube because I thought it was so because they have it linked on Wikipedia. You can like click it if you go to the Sam Witwer page and you go to all of his voices. If you go down to the very, very bottom, there's random commercial as Darth Maul, and then you can click the YouTube link and watch the tea commercial, and it's so funny.
Amazing. I will need to be doing that later.
Yes.
Maul mentions like the list of people who have wronged him,
Hmm.
which I think there's two things to note here of interest
Okay.
in this list. The first is that he mentions three names. He mentions the Pikes, Crimson Dawn, and Vario, talking
Right.
about Ludi Vario as three people specifically who wronged him. First thing to note, Crimson Dawn is not under Maul's control. Someone else is in control of Crimson Dawn. We don't know if it's Dryden Voss. We don't know if it's Kira. They don't say.
Mm.
But we do know that Crimson Dawn was one of the people at this point who have betrayed him. Now, this means either one of two things. For the broad overarching, where does this fall in the timeline? Either this is prior to the Solo movie, and he's going to have to get Crimson Dawn back. It's going to be interesting because we saw Dryden Voss in the Clone Wars as the representative for Crimson Dawn on the call. So somehow he has to survive all of this. Or this takes place after the Solo movie, and Kira has taken Crimson Dawn away from him.
Okay. Yeah. Well, guess we'll have to keep watching to find out because
Well, so
eventually
the
they're going
other
to reveal
interesting
it.
thing about this is that we will see him go after Vario in this episode, and we
Right.
will see him start to go after the Pikes in the next one. This is a hit list. The show has been renewed for season 2. I would not be surprised if Crimson Dawn is a bigger boss on this tier.
We'll have to keep watching and see. As of episode 2, we don't know, but we'll find out because I don't even think he doesn't even. Well, I don't want to talk about episode 2 yet, but yeah.
Yep.
But
So you
put a pin in it,
put a pin in
as
this.
they say.
We're gonna come back to it.
Hmm.
You also included. You went up to the end of the scene with the cop in the cop police station, right?
Yep. Try to start
Okay.
combining some of these.
So they bring this kid in, and I just want to make a quick note about something on Lawson's desk. There's like a little ball
A ball. Hmm.
on his desk that people are constantly picking up. In my notes, when they previously existed, RIP, my Maul Shadow Lord notes, I referred to this as the Benjamin Sisko ball. This joke will make no sense to Bradley at all, but on Deep Space Nine, the captain of the station has a baseball on his desk,
Right.
and he is constantly picking it up, fiddling with it. Other people are picking it up. If somebody's a dick, they'll come into the office and pick it up as like a power thing. So there's also just this random ball on his desk. So I called it the Benjamin Sisko ball.
I just assumed it was a stand-in for a baseball, and that's why people were picking it up constantly. And it's like very much because
That's
it's
absolutely what it is. I
yeah.
don't know if it's a reference to the Benjamin Sisko baseball specifically,
All
or
right.
just a baseball on a desk. There was also a note in the making of that talked about how you can constantly see cups of calf. He always has one.
Hmm.
This is a cop trope. This is as old as time itself. I do find it really interesting that he like tries to help this girl out because he clearly sees like she's too young to be in here.
Right. Like,
This
why is
is
she in the police
ridiculous.
station? Yeah.
Work it gets in the way. I put a note on this. He tries to help this kid. Work gets in the way. Two Boots is like, I need you to come look at this thing. And then he's like, okay, well, go process her. She'll spend a night in a cell. I've done everything I can.
Which, by
So,
the way,
like,
he did nothing.
he did nothing because he didn't have a chance to because work got
Right.
pulled away
But
from him.
also, I think he also in his brain goes, well, what's one night in a cell gonna do? Like, it's not gonna hurt
Right.
her. Like, and if anything, she'll learn her lesson.
We
Like, it's
can't
like,
like prosecute her because we don't know who she is. She'll
right.
spend a night in a cell. We'll kick her back out onto the street.
Yep.
We'll all move on with our lives. Haha, that won't happen.
Yeah.
When they get the image of Maul, Lawson calls the lightsaber a laser sword,
Hmm.
says he hasn't seen one since the Clone Wars, but doesn't call it a Jedi weapon.
Right. He just, yeah, it's just generic laser sword.
Yeah, he doesn't immediately associate it with the Jedi. He doesn't assume that Maul is a Jedi. Even after
Yeah.
Two Boots is like, oh, this file is classified.
Yeah,
Like
but
unbelievably classified. By the way, the Orabesh says classified. I
oh, it does.
translate.
Okay.
I did translate the Orabash. It says classified.
So, yeah, timeline wise, this is still getting iffy because, like, okay, he said, I haven't seen it since the Clone Wars. So he's old enough to remember the Clone Wars, but he's not old enough to remember the Jedi were a part of the Clone Wars?
No, I
Or,
think for some reason he doesn't associate laser swords with Jedi.
hmm. But, like, if Imperial propaganda has done its job, the Jedi turned, right? And then the clones had to take them out because they were evil, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, what. So,
So
and before they
after
were army
order,
generals. So,
so this is more evidence maybe that this is taking place a little later in the timeline, maybe after the Solo movie,
okay.
because the Empire does a phenomenal job of they wipe out the Jedi. They have a big thing about how they wiped out the Jedi, and then everybody just moves on.
Like a year
And by the time a
later.
couple of years pass, people talk about the Jedi like they're a myth.
Yeah, not even like a full 10 years later. They're like, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
then
By
again, I mean,
15
I guess a
years
lot
later, at
happens
the
in the,
start of Rebels,
yeah.
yeah, people out on the backwater planets are talking about the Jedi like they were like they were myth.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess it's not that weird considering in this universe just a lot happens all the time. Like so like
yes.
it's not that weird. Like for us it would be weird because that's like, oh, this random coup happened like in our government and like 5 years ago and we all just forget about it. No, that would never happen. Like there would be memorials and things and we would just always talk about it constantly. Like obviously in this universe like it's just, oh well, another Tuesday. Like
No, it's the speed at which the fascist propaganda machine can move the cultural consciousness on from something
yeah.
is impressive. And it's by creating, not to get super political, but you do it by creating a new distraction. You create a
Mhm.
new distraction every 5 minutes. There's a new thing that we have to worry about. So we can't
Right.
worry about the old thing, but then they have to come up with another new thing to distract from the thing they they tried to get us to stop talking about the first thing, and then it just snowballs and snowballs. And by the time you get to years down the line, it's like, oh, the Jedi? I vaguely remember that. Like, I was talking to some people the other day about how it's been 6 years since the lockdowns, and there's people who have like forgotten how bad that period was.
Yeah,
Like,
I
there's
guess
people who
I
talk
also
about
have
it.
I've flushed it out of my mind. Like I really don't think about it
Yeah.
all that much.
Yeah,
I
there's
guess
people.
that's true.
Well, it's not just that. There's people who like will insist to you that like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't. And I'm like, toilet paper just vanished from store shelves.
Yeah, but I
Like,
forget about that. Like that's so
you
weird.
forget
Like,
about those things because shit keeps happening
yep, that's true.
and you move on
You
in
move on
your
and you're like,
life
yep.
and you move on. You have to deal with this bloated authoritarian machine constantly bearing down on you. No
Mhm.
wonder Lawson's like, we're not going to tell the ISB about it.
Right,
I don't
because
want them
he doesn't
anywhere
want to deal with that.
near
Right.
Gen X. Yeah. Well, because they know he knows what'll happen. There's this very delicate balance between the police and the local government and the crime syndicate. And Maul is already fucking that up just by being here. If the Empire shows up with a Star Destroyer,
It's
they're
over.
not going to leave.
Well, it's also because they established early on in this episode even so the bank heist, the bank is owned by the crime boss. The literal
Yes.
bank is owned by a crime lord.
This is
And
cool and
so
normal.
that alone like is shows you the delicate balance they are keeping on this planet because there's multiple, mind you, multiple crime bosses with multiple territories. So they're all like very delicately balancing this like volcanic eruption of you wrong me, something bad's gonna happen. Because clearly we saw like immediately the Nico or whatever or Demas, he's like immediately suspect of this Ludi guy because he's like, well, he's always fucking around on our
He's
territory,
always
so he's
fucking with my shit. Yeah,
obviously the
clearly
one.
I'm
Yeah.
clearly this is the guy.
Right. And so the fact that that alone is like how volatile the situation is, he's like, let's just not involve the Empire. And Two Boots obviously is like a robot. So he's just going to be like, well, the protocol says, like, if this guy shows up, we have to call the Empire. And then, Lawson's like, no,
Also,
don't do
like,
that.
that's a bad idea. Maybe we don't.
Maybe we don't do that. But I also like how, so Two Boots is a cop droid. I don't know what they call him. I forget what they call him, but they're just cop droids. I don't know. His programming is to follow orders unless his direct superior tells him to not follow the order, which I find interesting. So like
I
he
wonder how much
wants to
free
do that.
will how much sentience and free will this droid has at this point.
Yeah,
Because this is the problem with Star Wars. You never know how complex a droid's logical processing is.
right.
Because some droids are portrayed as like fully sentient
Right. They're
beings.
just fully free thinking.
And other droids are portrayed as very binary, like I move stairs.
Well, even the cop droid earlier on was like, you are being arrested, comply. Like, there's no,
Right.
like, let's talk to the vendor and see, let's try to figure out, like, even the
No,
Jedi
they're
Master guy,
following a set of
he was trying to, like, he's like, oh,
pre-programs.
she made a mistake. Like, no, that's not how the droid thinks. The droid thinks, you stole, you arrested.
Right.
But Two Boots does seem to be like, okay, hey, this guy is wanted by the ISB, so that's above our pay grade. I should report him because that's my protocol. And then Lawson, his direct superior, says, no, 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 don't do that. And Two Boots goes, okay, I will not do that. I'm wondering also corruption wise level. Now, I know Lawson is not a bad person, but I'm wondering like
We will
corruption wise how much
Yeah,
that
we
works.
will see. So I think it's a thing of where Two Boots is programmed to obey Lawson's orders as his superior officer.
Right.
Because even if Two Boots was organic, the same thing would apply. Lawson could order him to violate protocol, and then that becomes Lawson's problem, not Two Boots' problem.
Yeah, I know. I just find the complexity of
But
the issue
also,
that
like, we
he's a
will
robot.
see, we will see that Lawson is not a totally 100% clean either
Mm.
in episode 2.
Section 5. At a neutral location, Nico Demus meets with Alina crime boss, Lord Ludivario, to discuss the heist, but tensions erupt into violence after a servant droid brings a pot containing the head of Demus's kidnapped bank droid. A firefight breaks out, and the police are alerted. Demus is shot by Vario, and Maul watches amused. Ludi is chased and cornered by Maul's strike team, but is saved when Lawson and police reinforcements intervene, forcing the attackers to retreat. Despite the setback, Maul remains determined to capture Vario, and Rook advises against an attack on the police station, but Maul is determined to punish Vario and says everything is falling into place.
So who is voicing Lutivario? My favorite character from this. I loved him
So
immediately.
this is your favorite character. Okay, interesting.
This is my favorite one. I love this slimy little motherfucker. The first time I heard his voice.
Sorry to this man. Chris Diamantopoulos, hopefully.
Diamantopoulos.
Diamantopoulos. I'm sorry to him. He is a Canadian actor. He appeared in the HBO series Silicon Valley. He was briefly in The Office as Brian, the crew member. If you know, you know. He is the most hated man on The Office. No Marvel, but he has voiced multiple DC projects. Most recently, he was Aquaman in the Harley Quinn series. As for Disney, he voices Mickey Mouse in the Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which is that new looking animation, which is supposed to be like a newer version of the old animation, but it's the one where the ride is based off of from Disney World and Disneyland,
Right.
which he also does the voice of the ride as well. He also voices multiple characters in American Dad, Family Guy, and Invincible. This is not his first Star Wars. He voiced a bartender droid named M6NK or Monk in Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
He's been in a couple shows that I liked, like Elementary and Hannibal, and he was also in Voltron Legendary Defender. He is immediately my favorite. I love that he has an overcompensating huge suit. We need to talk about the food.
Okay.
I know we promised we weren't going to talk about the animation. Did you see this fucking food?
I like the steam coming off the fucking food
The
and like it's like
steam coming off
sliding
it,
down the
the
thing or whatever.
way that it gets cut, the cheese. There's a note in the. So I'm going to read from the trivia guide. Quote, the meal served to Ludivario and Demas at their meeting in the warehouse is inspired by the classic Italian dish chicken parmigiana, served up at writer meetings held at Dantana's in West Hollywood. Quote, when you see Vario cutting into it and the way the cheese pulls, that was not easy to do, but it's great, end quote, head writer Matt Mignevitz says.
But I love that their crime lord meeting is inspired by
The
Italian
writers'
cuisine.
meetings at a random Italian restaurant in West
Restaurant, yeah.
Hollywood. Yep.
So random.
And now I've not been to this restaurant. So,
But I believe that that's exactly what the food looks like.
yeah, no, I truly believe that. It's
It looked good.
incredible.
Yeah,
But it's also very like organized crime,
very much
right?
so.
Like to have this sit down
Sit down
and we're gonna have
dinner.
this meeting
Right. They have to have
and
a
there's gonna
fancy
be a
meal.
severed head.
Yep. As a statement. A severed head as a statement is so crime lord coded that it's not even funny. I mean, thankfully it was just a droid head, but
Yeah, this is the Star Wars thing is
yeah,
they love to do like the really gory thing, but like it'll be a droid. This is how
I
they get away with it
the
because it's
whole
for
entire
kids.
episode they do this, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, every time Maul murks somebody or like whatever, it's obviously just a droid. He doesn't do it, or he
Or
does
it's
it off
cauterized
screen.
with the lightsaber, or it's
Yeah,
in the dark. This is still a
right. We
pretty
never see it.
kid-friendly show, even though it gets really brutal at points.
I think it's dark. It's just, yeah, we see it either off screen or it's implied. And that's usually normal, I guess, for Star Wars. But at least, I don't know. I feel like sometimes though, when I watch this, I'm like, oh, wait. They actually, like,
Oh yeah,
they did
we'll
it.
get
But
to it.
like,
We'll get to it. Maul's fucking chopping limbs off and cutting
yeah.
people apart. I have to note that one of my favorite parts of the episode, I think maybe my favorite part of the episode is the line, I just share this moment with you. I love Two Boots. He's great. He's definitely gonna get killed.
There's so many things happening. These cop tropes with the crime lord tropes, like all the stuff that's happening all the time. It's so interesting. I mean, not to jump too far ahead in the scene, but like when Lawson shows up and Vario is like, he's like, "Oh my God, am I glad to see you?" Like for once, like I just thought it's so
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Like,
no. I have a whole note about the fact that like that no, they obviously know each other
well,
because
yeah,
like
because
this is a
yeah,
small town.
hmm
Obviously, like Vario and Lawson have met
yeah,
before.
of course.
Yeah, like this is the type of town. It's like Gotham. This is the type of town where everybody knows everybody. Everybody know all the criminals know all the cops know all the criminals. It's just that kind of place.
I also love the scene where Vario and Demas are like chasing each other in the, by themselves. And Demas shoots Vario's mech suit, thinking he kills him, obviously, and then realizes, oh, he's not in the suit. And then he turns around when Vario says, "Hey, I'm over here," kind of thing, and then he shoots him in the chest. And he's like, "Hey, word of advice, never shoot someone in the back."
Yep. Oh no, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
I loved him immediately.
I was so curious because he's on the cover, like the poster, and I was thinking, huh, that's such a random character to throw on the poster for like just being a random alien character. Like I thought, like, oh, he was just a random alien character that it was in the trailer for like a few seconds, like, and I was like, oh no, he's a
He's a
bigger
major
character than we
character in
thought.
this.
Yeah.
I gotta shout out the music in this. I fucking love the music all over this, from the
Hmm.
orchestral stuff whenever Maul is doing his thing, but particularly this chase scene because it's basically the music from Attack of the Clones,
The
the
chase scene
Coruscant
and
stuff from Attack of the Clones,
yeah.
without actually being that. Yes, it's the Kiners. It's always the Kiners. It's all three of the Kiners.
Hmm.
Again, the Kiners are always fucking here. It's always the same fucking people, which means they're really good at it by this point. And yes, I would be remiss if I did not weigh in on, is the flamethrower useful? Now, let me remind our audience. Just let's have a chat, audience. You and me. You and me. I don't hate flamethrowers as a concept. The presence of the flamethrower is not what I take issue with. The problem is that in Star Wars, very often the flamethrower is utilized in a situation in which a flamethrower is neither effective nor useful. That is the criteria by which we will be judging our use of a flamethrower. So in this scene, the Mandalorian in question uses the flamethrower to torch people that are in an enclosed metallic setting. This is a good use of your flamethrower. The wrist-mounted flamethrower, maybe not so much, just because I think you still want to get a sustained burn, and it doesn't appear to be a very sustained burn. But I think it's effective enough at getting them to crash and killing everybody in
Right.
the thing. Or
It's enough of
yeah,
a deterrent
it's
to, yeah.
enough to make it work. So I'm gonna call it useful in this situation. I still don't love the wrist mounted ones because they should only run for like 3 seconds and then immediately run out of stuff. Because like, where are you keeping the tank for it? I'm sure
Right.
now that I've
Yeah.
said that, some fucking nerd is gonna link me a reference book and be like, well,
Well,
actually,
he's
it's
wearing a
under.
tank
There's a little
backpack. Yeah.
tank under the arm, or like in the Bounty Hunter games, it was like attached to the jetpack, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense
Yeah.
because it's attached to the jetpack and it's just
Eh.
using the same
He only uses it
fuel.
for like a second, so it is a quick burst. I mean, it's like a very, who knows?
Yep. And then we get the bit where they know each other. You already skipped ahead.
Yes, there he's on the street and he's like, "Thank God you're here." They look up and obviously Maul's people are gone. This okay, we talked about the relationship. Here's my problem with the episode.
Okay.
So Lawson shows up and then Maul's crew is gone because they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta get out of here," kind of thing. Because they've already got
Well, Lawson shows
Vario.
up, they shoot him for a little bit, and then his
Right,
backup shows up
and they're gone.
and they run away. Yeah.
The immediate next scene, I forget their names, but it's Icarus and the two Dathomir brothers or whatever that are on Maul's team that we haven't talked about. Uh,
Standing in the background.
completely in the background in this next scene. Like they fully are already
Oh,
back at Maul's base.
okay. So it's a little bit of a case of confusing editing
Okay.
because so it cuts from Lawson standing looking at Two Boot to Maul looking at a recorded image of Lawson. And the image is static. This scene is sometime later.
Oh, okay.
They are
Maybe I
already
missed that.
it's kind of a I see what they were going for with the editing choice, but it is a little confusing. Like just the shots that they choose, the direction that
Right.
they choose, and what it tells us.
So this is footage from Spybot or something that they were watching.
Yeah, this is footage from Spybot. They're rewatching back. Everybody's
Okay.
already there.
Got it. That's why I was
So,
a little lost and
yep.
confused in this scene because I was like, why the fuck are the two Dathomir boys in the background right now?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
no, it's
time has
sometime.
passed. Okay, got it.
Maul continues to delusionally spout off about how his actions will serve a greater purpose and pieces are moving into place and everything is going according to his grand design. Mohahaha. He's such a fucking loser.
But then he pets his cat Spybot for a
It-
second, like an evil
yep.
villain.
Then
He's
he
like
starts petting it. I'm literally watching that because, again, I
literally
now
petting
have
his
to go
cat.
through the episode because I deleted all my fucking notes.
No, but
So I
that's
just noticed that he
so
starts petting the
so
Spybot
Dr.
like
Evil of him.
it's so Dr. Evil.
But
He's
it's
such a nerd.
but it's so great because then also Spybot's like, oh hell yeah, like I'm getting pet by the master. Like it's
Spybot's
so
having the
weird.
best day of his life.
I love all the dynamics that are going on. Actually, I just realized that everything about this is Dr. Evil because like even Dr. Evil has an evil female villain lady that works for him and
Well, because Maul's playing very seriously the tropes that Dr. Evil was spoofing.
yeah, I
But
love that.
Maul's like a wannabe little crime lord guy here. We know that he's going to keep fucking up. He's going to keep fucking up forever.
Well, I mean that's how it always is, but
It's the point of the show.
Section 6. In the police station during his booking, Vario claims self-defense in his murder of Demas and warns Lawson about a larger threat. He mentions the Shadow Collective. But Vario is put in a cell directly across from Devon. Two Boots mentions finally alerting the Empire, but Lawson insists on keeping them out of it. And later, Maul infiltrates the police station with his forces, disabling the security and launching a coordinated attack on the detention level. Lawson's attempts to respond, but is overpowered by Maul, who defeats all the officers and droids. Maul spares Vario after he claims to be able to offer valuable information about the Pike Syndicate, but before leaving, Maul notices Devon in her cell. As he opens the door, she recognizes him as Maul.
Cool. So we're just going to bang out the rest of the episode. Awesome. We're going to go through the next 7 minutes in this
Well, I mean,
last
it's
section.
mostly action anyway, so it's, yeah.
That's true. Vario mentions the Shadow Collective. If you don't remember what the Shadow Collective was, that was Maul's loose association of crime syndicates during the Clone Wars. So
Got it.
that
Okay.
that
I did
yeah,
forget that. Yeah.
nobody's heard of it. But this was where he got everybody to like work together.
Gotcha. It's where it made everybody hold hands, join forces, and be a big old happy family crime lord syndicate.
Yep.
Got
This
it.
was that. He had the Shadow
Okay.
Collective. He held it together all the way up to the Siege of Mandalore. And sometime after that, it fell apart. A bunch of people betrayed him. We don't
Right.
quite know what happened there
Okay.
because he was still in charge when he took off in his ship at the end of the Clone Wars. We keep getting random shots of Echo Dio just
Yeah.
randomly sitting there
If I didn't know he
sensing
was
things.
force sensitive, I would just assume like why are we seeing this guy randomly? Because as you said, we don't know he's a Jedi yet, unless you watched any of the marketing. But I'm assuming he's just feeling the feelings and seeing Devon and checking in on her. I'm assuming that's all he's doing. He's just kind of like meditating
He's
and like
sensing the whole
sensing
thing.
everything that's going on. Yeah.
I feel like there's more going on to this character than we are led to believe.
Hmm.
Like there has to be a reason he's the way he is.
Maybe we'll get a
Something has to
flashback.
have happened with this guy.
Maybe it'll be something that we've never seen where he was a kid during Clone Wars or whatever or something. Or well, he seems older.
He
So
seems
I don't.
old. He seems
Yeah, so
way
maybe
too old for that.
maybe he's lived through a lot, so he knows Maul and maybe he knows things that happened during that time and yeah, who knows.
It's really well directed. I gotta point this out. This last 7 minutes or so is incredibly tense.
Well, I thought the pacing of the whole entire episode was actually so good. Like
Oh yeah.
I was actually so impressed how good the pacing is for the first episode. Like, I don't think there's ever a moment where I was like, ugh, here's the quiet part. I gotta sit and listen for this for a second. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes episodes, or not episodes, but just shows in general, will do this. Well, like, they have slow bits. Like, let's be honest, there's moments, there's just dead space in an episode. This, I don't think has it. I think it utilizes all the parts that needs to, like, it crams a lot
It
in. And
it
this, like,
it's also clear. It's
yeah,
clear what everything means within the context of the episode itself. It doesn't have random stuff that's in there and
yeah.
it's like, oh, this will be explained later. It's really well paced and it delivers information that we need. And even the information that is from a different source, like the Shadow Collective, is done in such a way that it's okay if you don't know. And even the balancing, too, as we go through this action scene of for the police, it's really tense. Like they're having this fight in the police station. And then occasionally we cut to Spybot gleefully cackling and being evil and
What does
having,
he
and it's a
say?
laugh.
What does he say in the one like when he connects to the hallway camera? He's like, "I see you," or something like that. And it's like,
Yep.
or
He's just
something along
having
those lines.
the best time.
He's having so much fun. I love that for him.
But we do get to the one thing in the episode that I was like,
Okay,
okay, this is pushing it a little bit.
which is
So we are introduced to Maul fucking slicing people in half and murdering the shit out of everybody. And then he just whacks Lawson
okay.
in the
I was gonna bring
face.
this up.
And I think there's something else going on here because we had that shot earlier of Maul creepily staring at Lawson, the recording of Lawson. So I think there's going to be something revealed, but within the context of the episode, it doesn't make sense
Why he
to
knocks him
me.
out and
Why he
kills everybody
knocks
else.
him
Yeah.
out and kills everybody else.
Well, I need to watch it again, frame by frame. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do watch it, I don't know if he actually kills any humans.
That's a good point because I just got the hallway shot, his hallway scene,
And
as
it's all
again I'm watching
robots.
along, and the
Yeah.
two that he rips apart are robots, and the one
Right.
human in the hallway runs away.
And I think there is, I mean, you won't be able to necessarily watch it right now, but there is I think there's another human that he does hit or something. Like he, like, either he elbows him or something, and the guy just falls down, and then he just like ignores him for the rest of the thing. Like, I could be wrong, but I vaguely in my brain, unless I'm thinking of something from episode two, I don't know. But I could have sworn that there was like a human that he didn't really kill, or everybody he kills that's human is off screen. We never see it. I don't know, but it is weird that he does just knock Lawson out because he pulls his gun with the force and then he bum rushes him basically into the wall and he kind of like knocks him out that way. And I'm like, huh, why would he do that? Why wouldn't he just cut his head off or what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, like, or stab him with the lightsaber because he had the lightsaber the whole time. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe there's something else other than just he has to stay alive because he's a main character, like, for at least
I
a
think
couple
there's got to
episodes.
be something else going on here. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
I will note that the kid in the cell, when she hears the lightsaber, she gets this shocked reaction on her face. So that's our first clue. If you're just watching this, that she is a Jedi, is she freaks out at the lightsaber,
Okay.
and then Maul walks in the cell, and Vario starts yapping because I love him. That's what he does. He just starts yap 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 yap, and he specifically mentions having information on Krim, somebody named Krim with the
Yeah.
pikes.
I'm assuming that's the Pike leader
I'm
at the
scrolling
time.
ahead to find the exact quote. You know, I know how to get to Krim. This is a reference almost certainly to Marg Krim, who is the leader of the Pikes. Let me double check something here. Yeah, Marg Krim was a male Pike. He's a powerful member. I don't know if he ever became leader, but he was the main villain of the or he was the main Pike in the Martez sisters arc
Oh, okay.
in season 7
So
of
he's at
the
least
Clone Wars.
relevant.
He's
Uh,
relevant. We've
yeah,
seen him before.
yeah. Okay.
He fucks up a lot. The last time we saw him was the height of the Siege of Mandalore. He appeared in the call where Maul is like, "You guys all need to go into hiding." So almost certainly he will be a character that will be relevant later on.
Gotcha.
And then finally, we get the shocking twist reveal at the end of the episode where nobody has said Maul's name in this episode. I don't know if you did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that actually.
All of the crime bosses just refer to him.
Or that guy. Yeah, they're like, no, it could
You
never
know
be him.
who's
Yeah.
coming. It's
Yeah.
not him. The cops don't know who this guy is.
Right, because it says confidential.
Nobody knows who this guy is. And this random Jedi kid knows who this guy is.
Well, random
She
kid
sees
knows this.
him. She sees him and goes, "That's Maul."
Which is more
Which is
questions than answers because I'm like,
how does she
how does she
know
know?
who Maul is? Did all the
Right.
Jedi learn about Maul?
Yeah.
Did she have some specific thing with Maul? Like her master had a thing with Maul? Like
I
what's going on
mean,
here?
I guess my only way I could think of it is like maybe they teach it in Jedi school, like the guy who assassinated Qui-Gon Jinn and then Kenobi. Like everybody knows that story because it's
Well, I
Kenobi.
don't.
Like,
Well, I guess people maybe know that, but like, who knew that there was a Sith Lord? Like, who knew what piece of intel? This is just a random kid.
that's
Like,
true.
maybe they
I
know
I was
Obi
trying
Wan
to
can.
I was trying to compare it to like maybe like the JFK assassination. Like you just know the names in the story because it's such a significant story. Like that's my only like comparison I can think about. Like I don't know why, but that's like I'm thinking like maybe that's why she knows his name. But other than that, the only way, oh, I mean, obviously what's probably happening here is you're right. I think there's something going on with the master that connects to Maul later on, and that's the only reason why she knows his name. We don't
She
know
has
yet, but
information about Maul that I think most people are not necessarily going to have.
correct. There, she has some
So,
outsider information that we didn't haven't heard about yet.
or I could be completely wrong, and this is just a thing that all Jedi know.
Maybe we'll find out in a future episode. Who knows?
Well, let's talk about who wrote and directed this episode.
Oh, that probably would have been a good thing to research.
Don't worry, I have it pulled up on IMDb
Thank
because
you.
I'm
Because you
really,
know
really,
what?
really
Because it
good.
is the same day, I
I
didn't look that
think,
up.
I think, Bradley, over the course of the last 45 minutes, I have demonstrated I am really good at ad-libbing this show.
I disagree fully, and I have to fully edit out half of what you've said. But continue.
Listen, look, I know how to frantically Google stuff in the background. I pulled up
There you go.
the writer and directors, plural.
Which are
There are three directors, all of which we have talked about in some capacity on Star Wars before.
okay.
One of them is Saul Ruiz. A lot of these guys have directed the Tales series, The Bad Batch, Clone Wars Season 7, Resistance Rebels, all that stuff. So Saul Ruiz has done all of those. The second credit normally also works as a storyboard artist and 3D story artist, but he has mainly been doing directing stuff since Clone Wars Season 7.
Nice.
The second credited director is Stuart Lee. Same deal. Worked on a lot of Star Wars stuff, Tale series, Bad Batch, Clone Wars, etc., etc., etc. Done a little more stuff in the art department. Generally a storyboard artist when he's not directing Star Wars stuff, including being a storyboard artist on the 2008 Clone Wars movie. He's also storyboard artist on Batman the Killing Joke and the Batman TV show, and has worked in the animation department for some other things as well. The third credited director on this episode was Nathaniel Villanueva. Nathaniel Villanueva, we've also talked about before. Directed episodes of The Bad Batch, worked in the art department for Star Wars Rebels, storyboard artist on Resistance, directed episodes of Tales.
Nice.
So if you're familiar with recent Star Wars animation, you know all three of these guys. Now, with regards to the writing of the show.
Okay.
So Dave Filoni created the show. Doing a Maul show was his idea.
Right.
Obviously. I did see online a quote, and I looked for it. I couldn't find it, but I remember it was a quote from someone talking about Dave Filoni, where he basically started out the show and then went over to do Ahsoka. And it was a quote about how he gave the mandate that's his art to the animation department to push the animation further and further and further. The writing of the show seems to have been done by Matt Miknovitz. He's got a developed by credit, and he's also got a written by credit for this episode. Matt Miknovitz has written on a fuckload of Star Wars. He's written for the Tales series. He's written for The Bad Batch, where he was also a story editor. He was a story editor for seasons 1, 2, and 3. Also doing some additional writing for Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, Clone Wars Legacy, like a whole bunch of stuff. He also, you mentioned 24 earlier, he was a producer's assistant on 24.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep. And he's also written episodes of 24 or was a story editor. So that's who wrote and directed these episodes. Bradley, what are your final thoughts on this episode?
Ooh, final thoughts are this episode was so good, so concise. I really liked it. I liked it. It is setting up things that I'm more curious about, but it's not doing it to where I don't feel like it's an incomplete episode. I think sometimes Star Wars sometimes will introduce something in an episode and it makes it feel lackluster because you're like, I didn't really get the ending to that thing. I need more information, or it's not like as complete. I felt like this was such a complete episode that I would have been fine if we had only gotten this one episode and not episode 2 right after. Because again, we are getting 2 episodes a week. I don't necessarily think we needed to. This is probably the first time in a Star Wars recent premiere that we've gotten more than one episode, and I didn't feel like we needed more than one. I feel like with Andor, it was designed that way, so you did need all 3, because each one was a complete story. Each 3 was a complete story. This, I don't think it needed both because it's one long continuous thing. These are just chapters in each story, as of how it's named. But I felt like this chapter by itself was a complete story. This is probably I do have criticism of the second episode in that I don't think it was as complete. This one I felt like was a lot more of like a singular story that just flowed really well. It had great pacing and it was just like it introduced all the new characters that it needed to introduce concisely. Okay, I will give it maybe the Devon and Master character were not as strongly introduced. I mean, they're basically non-existent in this episode for the most part. I mean, this is truly like Maul is the focus of this episode, so it's like or his introduction back into the canon or
We
whatever.
get way more with Devin in the next episode.
Right. So I think like I think it's planned that way. I do think it's slightly weaker in introducing them. I don't know how, but you're right. I think they should have introduced their names in some capacity. Like even if it was just her calling him master and him calling her Devin. Like
I think
or
she does
something.
call him master at one point. I think she
Ooh.
says, Master, you need to eat or something, but that's like the only indication we
Oh,
get.
does she? I missed that.
I vaguely remember it, but other than that,
Okay.
we don't know their names, and we have no other indication that they are a Jedi
Yeah.
besides like that word.
I
And
think
that word could
also
mean so many things.
I think also they could have had her like use the force to try to lift up a barrier or something for a second and then him be like, "No, stop. We have to do things the right way." You know, like that would have been a good way for her to steal. Like I feel like instead of,
I I feel like they're saving like the if you come into the series totally blind, the reveal is going to be when she gets her lightsaber.
okay.
That's going to be well, I mean, actually no, because in the next episode they just straight up talk about the fact that she's a Jedi. Or
And
Maul just
and
assumes
she uses the force.
she does also use
So,
the
yeah,
Force.
so
Yeah, in
I
the
mean
next
it's not
episode.
really
So
like a yeah,
okay,
spoiler,
yeah.
but yeah.
Spoilers for the next episode that you probably already watched if you're listening to this one. So I
But
mean,
yeah,
look,
what
my
about you?
final thought is this episode is really good. It was great, as evidenced by the fact that we have now talked about it with basically no tangents.
And that's
Overall
pretty
recording.
impressive because the episode's not that long. I mean,
The
if you think
episode
about it.
is about 27 minutes long.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to be when Bradley cuts out the occasional tangent that we went on, and also the bit where we tried to get my notes back.
I mean, I can't imagine if we try to cover both episodes in one episode. Like,
Absolutely fucking not. You and I could not do it.
that's crazy. We're just not
No,
that succinct. Like, we just can't.
no. Well, because we've got this whole vibe of gays at brunch that we've got going, where you've
Mm,
just got the two. Do you ever have a brunch with all of your gays, and there's two of them that discover they have something in common? Like they watch the same TV show that recently had an episode, and those two gays will just start yapping at each other for like an hour, and it will be in fucking sufferable because you can't get a word in edgewise. That's kind of the vibe that we cultivate here.
no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
You've totally done this. I've also totally done this. Anyway, I'm very proud of what we've built on this show.
Mhm.
5 years ago, I would not have been able to make up notes in my head for the entire back half of the episode. Pluggables. Bradley, what do you work on? What is upcoming?
Well, I work in reality television, as you may know. So I have worked on shows such as The Circle, Married to Medicine, Queen's Court, and King's Court. All these are on Bravo and Netflix. But my most recent show, which as of this recording is not out, but will be out when I finish editing this and air it on Monday, Temptation Island has a new season that is out on Netflix. So please watch that.
I will be watching it when I get back. On my side of things, you can find me on the Star Wars TTRPG podcast for Light and Dice, a TTRPG actual play set in the High Republic era. Just started at season 3. Absolutely go binge listen to that. It is worth it and awesome. Do not be surprised if you see stuff from Maul Shadow Lord start to turn up in the latest season. I have it on good authority that Chris loves this show. You can also find queer crime thriller crime books, I guess, if you're in the mood for crimes. Those are called Beach House Studios. You can find them on Amazon, Kobo, and Barnes & Noble. If you have another place that you want to get them and they're not there, shoot me a DM on my personal socials. Let me know. I will see what I can do. I'm going to try to get them out into Apple Books as soon as I have a chance to sit down and breathe. All right, that's all that I have to plug currently. So that was chaotic. Thank God we're not doing another one of these before I go on my trip. And Bradley, please run our socials. Thank you for listening to Gold Squadron Gaze. Did Charles fuck something up? Email us at goldsquadrongaze@gmail.com and let us know. You can follow us on BlueSky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Gold Squadron Gaze. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Gold Squadron Gaze, where we post full episodes of this podcast. If you like the podcast, you can also rate us and review us on your favorite podcast app of choice. Please join us next week and every week for another episode of Gold Squadron Gaze. Holy shit. I just deleted all of my notes.
Undo.
I literally just deleted all of my notes.
Undo.
No,
Control
I
Alt.
deleted the note.
You can't undelete the note.
I don't see an options.
Command Z. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can't like undo it. So
I don't
recently
have an
deleted
option
on
for these
iCloud?
recently deleted. Oh,
So-
because I'm not paying the iCloud. All right, so here's what we're gonna do.
On this episode
Hold
of
on,
Charles
hold
the
on,
fucking
hold-
idiot.
Hold on.